Hello, good day. In our continuous reflection on the concept of freedom, you will learn today Merleau Ponty's notion of freedom, an article written by Manuel. The article is divided into two parts. In the first part, Manuel discussed the concept of Sartre on freedom. On the second part, he discussed Merleau Ponty's rejection of Sartre's notion of freedom. I think by now you are already familiar with Sartre's concept of freedom because in our previous article and previous discussion, his name has always been mentioned. Key to understanding of Sartre's notion of freedom is this famous quote that he mentioned. He said, "Existence precedes essence." Essence means purpose. So what does it mean? Sartre uses an analogy to explain this. He used the paper knife as an example, the kind of knife that might be used to open an envelope. According to Sartre, before the physical paper knife existed, it has first existed in the mind of its creator. Its purpose, its design, its material were all identified, established, conceptualized in the mind of its creator before it was existed. So, in that example, essence precedes existence. Essence comes first, or purpose comes first before its existence. But that notion that essence comes first before existence is only applicable to objects, but not to human person, according to Sartre. For human person, there is no preordained plan. There is no particular purpose. Man, at the very beginning, is like a blank sheet of paper. There is nothing there at the first place, aside from his or her existence. But we can argue, man is also created by its creator, like the paper knife, made by its creator for a particular purpose. Isn't it that man is also created for a particular purpose by its divine creator? But here's the thing, Sartre does not believe in God. Sartre is an atheist. He does not believe in God. So, since there is no creator for man, and we are not made for any particular purpose, since Sartre does not recognize God as our creator, therefore, yourself is your own project. You create your own uh, essence and purpose, and your freedom is the ground and source of all your meanings. So what will you become? What will you be? That would rest upon on your freedom. So your freedom is absolutely the source of all meanings for your life and for yourself, whatever that is. So your freedom starts from nothing. Mm. And you're absolutely free to design whatever project you envision for yourself. So imagine yourself like a blank canvas, and you are an artist, and you were designing your own self project. Freedom starts from nothing, according to Sartre. It starts from nothing because at the very beginning of man's existence, there's nothing there aside from his or her existence. There is no preordained plan. There is no preordained purpose. There's nothing. Your essence, your purpose, your meaning, that would be your task to create. You will create your own purpose. That's why freedom starts from nothing. Not even your past and your present condition or your social environment can dictate or influence your freedom. You are absolutely free in the midst of this. You can start from the scratch as if you design your own self project. Understandably, Sartre does not believe in fundamental option because admitting that is like saying that there is a preordained purpose for man. Mm. But for Sartre, totally there is nothing for man at the very beginning, not even his fundamental option to love. Because perhaps Sartre would argue, I can also choose not to love. I can choose hatred. I can choose uh, anything because I'm free. I'm absolutely free. That's the position of Sartre. If ever I choose to love, I admit myself to love. That would be the decision of my freedom. That would be my choice. Not because it is my fundamental option. Though Sartre put highest value on freedom, he also said, we are condemned to be free. Freedom is a big responsibility on our part since it is our freedom who creates our own meaning and essence. It is rest upon our own freedom to create our own self-project. And every day there are thousands of choices. And you can only choose one. And of course, discard those who are not chosen. Because we cannot choose two things at the same time. You can come to school, but you can't attend your tropa's birthday celebration. You can only choose one out of thousands of possibilities each day. And whatever you chooses, whatever your freedom chooses, affects you. And not only you, but also other people around you. Our choices leaves an indelible ink on our being and also on others. It's like using an internet and you leave a digital footprint. Even if you use incognito, still you leave a digital footprint on the internet. So that's why for Sartre, it is also dreadful responsibility to have this freedom to create our own meaning and essence. Robot is much more fortunate compared to us if we apply this quotation of Sartre because for for robots they do not need to choose. All their actions are programmed, preordained. There is no need to choose, no need to uh, face with thousand possibilities each day, and no need to decide because they were just programmed to do what they were in the first place planned to do by its creator. But for us human beings, that responsibility of creating our project, self-project, rest upon our freedom. That's why for Sartre, though he extolled freedom to the max, he put highest value on freedom. At the same time, freedom is dreadful. It is a big responsibility. Merleau Ponty rejects this idea of freedom of Sartre. Contrary to Sartre's opinion that freedom starts from nothing, Merleau Ponty, on the other hand, says freedom does not start from nothing. According to Merleau Ponty, my free act always stands against the background of my history. I do not choose from the vacuum. My decision at every moment is always affected by my historical background. So for example, one's economic status, that would affect my choice in schools to be enrolled in college. Even the choice of my course would be affected by my economic status. That's the background. That's my history. And definitely that would have a say on my decision at present. Our choice is always based on a certain givenness, on our nature and history. We do not start from nothing. Our freedom starts from certain givenness. There are things that are given to us. We do not choose them, and yet they are part of our lives. For example, we did not choose our family. We were given a family. Our nature. It is natural for man to ask questions, to know, to find answers, to seek the truth. Because that is the object of our intellect. Our intellect does not seek what is false. Because that is not its natural course. So, every person is in a particular situation. And that situation has something to offer on our freedom. And we start our freedom based on that situation. Our history, our nature, our givenness. So, our freedom does not start from the vacuum. It starts from something. And that something is the basis of our freedom, of our choices, and of our decisions. Our freedom is never suspended in nothing, according to Merleau Ponty. It does not start from nothing. Our freedom always starts with something. We are connected to our past, to our present condition, to the people around us, especially those people that are significant to our lives. We are connected to our environment, to our society from where we live. We are not free despite of them, but we are free through them. Hindi tayo malaya sa kabila ng mga yan. No. Tayo ay malaya sa pamamagitan nila. Kasama sila sa ating paglaya. We stretched our freedom with them and through them. For Merleau Ponty, man's freedom is situated freedom. We exercise our freedom through our different situations. And people have different situations in lives. Some are more affluent, living a comfortable lives. Some are not. Some are broken families. Some are studying, some are not. Some are male and some are female. So some are living in a squatter area and some are living in condominiums. We have different situations in lives. And our freedom always starts with them. We exercise our freedom through our different life situation. And this situation is the context of our freedom. It affects our choices in our decisions. So contrary to Sartre, the human person is not a free project, but an existential project. Because at the very beginning of his existence, there are already given history, situation that are part of his or her existence. So yourself as a project does not start from scratch or from nothing. It starts from something. And that something are the existential realities of your being. Merleau Ponty distinguishes two types of intentions, explicit intention and general intention. Explicit intention refers to our freedom, to our will, and general intention refers to our situation. For example, uh, you were at the foot of the mountain. You intend to climb that mountain, but the mountain is too high. It is unclimbable, and the weather condition is also very windy, and your physical body's condition, you are doubtful whether you can withstand the weather conditions and whether you have enough strength to scale the mountain. So your freedom is always affected by your surroundings, your situation. It's always been like that in our lives. We cannot just do anything what we want to do. We cannot just choose whatever we want and whatever we like. Because our situation, our context, always affects our choices. It is part of our existential realities. So our choice is always emerged, emanate, spring from these current situations. Merleau Ponty said, "What then is freedom? To be born is both to be born of the world and to be born into the world." What does he mean by this? According to Ponty, the world is already established, but not completely. It is already established because when you were born, the world already exists. In the world influenced your being, affects your existence, influenced your decisions. So for example, even before you were born, Barangay Santa Lucia already existed. And when you were born into Barangay Santa Lucia, it has influence on your existence. The environment of Barangay Santa Lucia uh, definitely affects your growing up years. But though the world already established, according to Merleau Ponty, it is incomplete. It is incomplete because before us, there are many possibilities. Though the world is already established, we can change the world because we are free. We are not boxed in the world where we thrown into. But because we are free and there are many possibilities, we have this power to change our situation, even to change our world. We choose our world, and the world chooses us. So these two intentions that Merleau-Ponty uh, mentioned, the explicit intention and general intention, are interconnected. They are linked together. Yes, it is true that we were born into the world. The world chooses us. That's the general intention. That's the surrounding from where we live. And definitely, it influences and affects our values, our behavior, our worldview. And yet, and yet, we can choose to change our world. We can even transform it because we are also free. We are not uh, imprisoned by the world from which we live in. In fact, we can choose to live a better world. So our freedom is a situated freedom, and we cannot destroy our situation. It is already given, and our freedom always starts from our givenness, from our situation. And yet, our situation is always open. Though our situation is already established, already constituted, but incompletely. Our situation is always open. It can be changed, it can be transformed into something we aspire. According to Ponty, the general intention, that means our nature, our history, our situation, in fact, does not limit our access to the world. But on the contrary, it is our means of entering and communicating with the world. For example, our body set both limits and possibilities. Limits because there are things that we cannot do because of our bodily limitations. For example, we experience fatigue. So no matter how strong our will or spirit to continue, but if our body is weak or tired or experiencing fatigue, so we can no longer continue. So our body sets limits. Yet our body also set possibilities for us. Why is that? Because we enter this world through our body. We communicate to one another through our body. We experience our world through our body. And without your body, you will not experience these possibilities. In fact, God enters history. Nagkatawang tao din siya. And because of that, he experienced to live as a human. He suffers and lives with us. He knows how it is to be human because he himself becomes a human being, enters into a particular history, in a particular country, in a particular body. And that is what Ponty is saying here. Though our situation sets us a limit, but at the same time, our situation is also our launching pad, our starting point to emerge out of our situation into a much better uh, person. Okay, so thank you for listening. So for your assignment, I have prepared two questions. First, discuss Merleau-Ponty's situated freedom. Write it in your notebook. Then second, write your reflection on Merleau-Ponty's notion of freedom in your journal. Okay? So, till our next video lesson. Bye.